What's going on, guys? It's Elias. Welcome back to another video. In today's video, we're going to be talking about my C8 Corvette and why I went with the 1LT versus the 2LT. When the 2LT, to be quite honest with you, brings a lot of value for not a lot of money, especially with the 2020s. So we're going to go over things like, should you get the 2LT? Who's the kind of person that should be getting a 2LT? And who's the kind of person that should be getting the 1LT? And sometimes why the 1LT is actually better than the 2LT. If you're interested in all that, make sure to watch to the end. I appreciate you guys if you hit that like button. If you haven't subscribed yet, one of my FedEx guys, if you haven't subscribed yet, make sure you hit that subscribe button down below. Really appreciate when you guys do that. And let's go ahead and get started. So, why did I get the 1LT? Many reasons. First and foremost, I think, obviously, is cost. So, I really wanted the best value. I'm always looking for the best value in my vehicles, in my cars. That's why I bought a Civic Type R. For $33,000 that I paid for my Civic Type R, at the time, you really couldn't beat the value. And honestly, even today, you'd be hard-pressed to find a car that's worth $35,000 that's better than the Civic Type R, even at $40,000. I mean, some people would say the WRX STI, but honestly, that's very old technology, and I don't know. I don't see it, so I don't see the value in that. I mean, it does have all-wheel drive, but the engine technologies, that engine is super old, so I digress. For around $65,000 to $70,000 as this is equipped, it's really difficult to find a better vehicle for the value. What $70,000 car can you buy today that's better than this car? Let me know in the comments if you agree or disagree. If there's a better vehicle out there, again, I'd like to see it in the comments. I'll argue with you because I don't agree. I'll completely disagree because this thing is amazing for what it brings. It's amazing. Right. So I wanted the best value, so I got the 1LT. Now, what am I missing from the compared to the 2LT? So, in my opinion, the biggest differences between the 2LT and the 1LT are, of course, the radio. So you get an upgraded radio automatically on the 2LT. Now, I did upgrade my radio because I wanted the PDR. So so the performance data recorder is what the PDR is. You need to upgrade your radio to get that, and I already have the upgraded radio. I don't have as many speakers as the 2LT. I believe I have 9 speakers. The 2LT has 13 speakers, something like that. I don't really care about music. Music to my ears is me hearing my engine do this. We haven't broken in the car yet, so I'm not gonna go nuts. So, again, 1LT, I'm missing the cameras. So it comes with a lot more cameras. So it comes with 2 cameras in the front, and it comes with a rear view camera that you can see in the rear view mirror. This doesn't bring that. And honestly, that's probably the biggest thing that I miss from that. It also, the 2LT also comes with heated seats and cooled seats and a bunch of other stuff that, you know, if you're going to use this car as your only daily driver, might be a good idea to get it. A couple other things. So, a bunch of electronics that come with the 2LT are not in the 1LT. So, I'm saving costs, but I'm also saving weight, and that's actually reason number 2 why I went with the 1LT versus the 2LT. So the 1LT is going to weigh a few hundred pounds, maybe a couple hundred, maybe 150 pounds less than the 2LT. All that electronics, all the heated seats, obviously, those things are going to add weight. The cameras in the front, they're going to add significant amount of weight to the car. Now, you may not think 120 pounds, 150 pounds, or 200 pounds, whatever it is significant. I disagree. The lighter you can go, the better. And the way this is equipped, I think, is more than good enough. So, again, that's why I went with the 1LT package. Now, when it comes to daily drivability, do I miss any of the features from the 2LT? I'm gonna say honestly, yes. The one feature that I miss is that rear view camera. Everything else, however, Not at all. The heater, the HVAC system works perfectly well. I don't need heated seats or cooled seats. From what I understand, the cooled seats don't really work that well anyway. I'm gonna go ahead and turn on a little bit of ventilation. The windows are fogging up a little bit here. Right, and so I don't miss any of the features that the 2LT has, except for that rear view camera. And I'll make a video on that separately. But even without the rear view camera, this rear view mirror right here looks pretty good. I mean, as long as I keep that back window clean, it looks pretty good. And I do have to keep it clean every once in a while. I have to go back there and wipe it off, but that's okay. You know, that's a little bit of the Corvette life. You want to be always wiping your Corvette down every 5 seconds, right? That's part of it. So it's not a big deal to me. Wow, so much fun to just roll around these back roads here. So another thing that differentiates the 1LT to the 2LT is that I think that for the people that want 2LT are looking for more of a touring type car. And I think the Corvette, the C8 Corvette in general, the non-Z06, the base version is really the touring Corvettes. You want something inexpensive that's fast, that'll get you miles and miles and miles in comfort, that will make you happy to drive 400 miles on the road. I don't think this car is beatable for that. I don't think you should get the Z06 or any of those vehicles for that matter. I think this is one of the best ones. And I think one of the reasons that this is one of the best ones is that, especially if you get a 2LT package, man, you are in a lap of luxury. It is really like driving in a Cadillac. So I have the magnetic ride on this thing, and I've been saying that this thing rides like a Cadillac. If you have the 2LT with the heated and cooled seats, with all the extra cameras and electronics and the better audio system, there really is no need to buy a separate commuter car. It really is. I don't think there's absolutely any need at all. I would get some winter wheels and tires, slap it on, and call it a day. Obviously, if it snows more than like 4 or 5 inches, you're gonna have clearance issues. But the 2LT package makes this a much better daily driver. So why did I get the 1LT? Well, my plan is to track this car. I'm gonna take this car and I'm gonna take it to the track as often as I can. I love the way the chassis feels in this thing. I love the way the engine just pushes you out of the corners. I love the way it squats as you corner and you kind of hit that gas pedal. It really settles it out. If you've ever ridden a motorcycle, you know that as you're turning, you want to give it a little bit of throttle just to settle down the back end. It's the same exact thing with this car. It's just you settle it out in the back end while it rotates, and my God, does this thing rotate well. The turn-in feeling is amazing, and this thing belongs on the track, in my opinion. For me, for my usage, track days are in the future. And for track days, I'd like it to be as lightweight as possible. I don't want it as the touring things that are on it. And can you imagine if I have the two front cameras and I'm at the track and a whole bunch of things get kicked up into it and I have to replace a camera because some tire, some melted tire or rocks, God forbid, hit it? Yeah, that wouldn't be a good day. Not for me. I'd rather have less electronics. That will never get old. That will never get old. So I'd rather have less electronics than more electronics when it comes to a track day car. And that's really one of the things I recommend for you guys to think about. If you're buying a Corvette, if you're buying a Corvette just to go to the track and really enjoy track days and go on back roads and go on back road romps like I'm doing today, I don't think you really need a 2LT. It's not as useful. Now, if you're buying one to daily drive, if you're taking one to daily drive, or even to take on long road trips, let's say, longer road trips, cross America road trips, or going down to, your favorite state for the winter and coming back up in the summer, road trips like that, the 2LT will go a long way. Those extra cameras make it a lot easier for you to park in parking lots. It'll make it a lot easier with the rear view camera to see around you back there. It's going to be a lot easier to deal with the blind spots that this thing has, because it does have blind spots. And that's really one of the reasons why you should get a 2LT or a 3LT. Now, for those track rats like me, there's probably like 4 or 5% of Corvette owners that are track rats. 1LT is where it's at. It's inexpensive, so it gives you extra cash to spend on extra tires and wheels that you're gonna have to buy, because as we know, track days eat up tires and brakes. Man, I really can't wait until I can really rev this thing out. I'm trying really hard not to rev it out too hard. I'm not going through the rev limiter currently. I'm trying to break it in, but very soon, very soon we'll get there. So yeah, if you're looking at a Corvette and you're looking at it as a touring car, I would get a 2LT. If you're looking to do a bunch of track days like I'm gonna do, get the 1LT with that Z51 package, because I think it's necessary to get the Z51 package. I would get the mag ride as well. That's what I recommend in terms of making sure you get the best bang for your buck. This mag ride suspension is out of this world. It's out of this world. So there you have it, guys. That's my opinion. That is what I thought. That's why I got the 1LT, because I'm cheap, because I wanted to go fast, and I really don't need the extra electronics. I'm not a big fan. I don't really care about the speakers. I don't really care for heated seats or ventilated seats. I'm all good with how it is. And finally, you step into this car, you really don't feel like you got the bottom of the barrel. There's no missing blanks, there's no missing buttons. Everything feels like it was designed as it is, as a 1LT. So it's not like you're gonna regret every day of your life you're getting into this car, you're gonna see a blank button and be like, well, if I didn't get the 1LT, if I would have gotten the 2LT, I would have had this button here, or I would have had that there. And honestly, the interior of this car is better than any BMW I've ever been in. It's better than any Audi I've ever been in. That's a lot to say. Audis have very good interiors. So even in the 1LT, you feel like you bought something special and good. Alright guys, that really wraps it up for this video. I hope you enjoyed it. I'll catch you guys next time. Peace.